Yo, what's up? This is C4K. Today we're going to talk about
돌아가는 시간 내가 틀에 박힌 사람 Mr. 1K 여기 온 이유를 그대 아나 그건 하나.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the Korean calling names. In other words, appellations. In Korea, when you call somebody else, unlike English, there is a certain calling names according to the gender and age. And I will go over this calling names that maybe you guys might be interested. This is not a Korean language class, so I will just gonna go over it really briefly, tell you about the circumstances and the different meanings behind those calling names. Unlike the Western world, the age is kind of crucial factor in Asia. Especially in Korea, age is still important factors. Calling by their own name is not accepted. So if, for instance, there's a guy called Hyunbin. If he's older than me, I don't just call him, hey Hyunbin. No, that's not acceptable.
No, God!
Usually there are different ways of calling names for the elders. I'm going to talk about the calling names when you are quite in a close relations. So these calling names aren't used in the first time when you meet and not in the formal situation. These calling names are used together among the family siblings, also between the others. So I'm not going to talk about the siblings. The meaning is literally same when we call it to the older friends. This might be the word that you've heard most. Oppa.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Literally, it means the older brother. When do you use it? You use it to the elder people who are 10 to 20 years older than you. 20 years, it might be a little bit much, but doesn't matter. There is no rules about like how older it has to be. Usually within 10 years.
오빠.
If you call the guy who is older than you Oppa, it is also expression of friendliness towards that guy. When you call Oppa, it doesn't mean that you like him. It's an expression of getting close together. So you usually call it to the guy who you might have a good feeling or good relations.
오빠, 오빠네 다 알면서 오빠.
Sometimes the Korean girls use 애교. 애교 is this.
지금 왔는데 이러면 나 너무 속상해.
Call Oppa very in a cute way with 애교 for some favor. The guys might, do her favor because the guys like the girl with 애교. So it is hard to refuse sometimes for the Korean guys.
오빠 왜 안 찍어줘요? 오빠 어디 가요? 어디 가요? 한 주 같이 가요?
There is even a song about this.
오빠야, 내가 진짜 좋아하는 사람이 생겨서.
One thing, you don't use Oppa to the person who you don't want to be close to each other. Maybe you don't want to see that guy again. Then you might not use it Oppa. Oppa is usually used on couples because most of the couples in Korea, guys are older than the girls. So usually the girls call their boyfriend Oppa. In some cases, guys really like when girls call them Oppa. But you don't have to be a boyfriend to call Oppa. This is for the elder female. If you're female and you call the elder female, you call them Unnie. Formal situation, you don't call them Unnie. Hyeong. Like this. What's different? There is no special feeling about calling the guy Hyeong. You call it Nuna. Also, range between 10 to 20. There's no rules about who you could call Nuna. You might even call 40 years more older people Hyeong or Nuna or something like that. It is fine with that if other person accepts it. For the Hyeong and Nuna, you can put some other words behind that to make it more polite. You can put 님. The Hyeong, you can put 형님. And for Nuna, 누님. It's showing more respect to the elders. Also, the Nunas like it when the younger guys call them Nuna.
누나가 더 이뻐.
One thing that is quite interesting is the guys who has a crush on Nuna, when they meet them, not many of them call them Nuna. Because when you start calling them Nuna, the guys are in a lower hierarchy because he's younger. So there's even a song about this.
누나네요
in that way, so the guys don't want to be like a young boy, he want to be a man, so he don't want to call a Nuna. Common calling names you could call the girls, if you have an age gap, they might call it 삼촌. 삼촌 literally means uncle, like Uncle Ben.
삼촌은 뭐 할 거야?
너?
Idol who are in like 20s or 18, 19, they have a little bit older male fans, like over 30, maybe up to 40 or something like that. We call them 삼촌 fans, uncle fans. Singer IU, she also released a song for the 삼촌 fans. For the younger people, you just call 동생. It means a younger brother or sister. Well, you could put 여동생 or 남동생, but usually you just say 동생. So when you meet your friends, when I have a younger friend here, when I meet my friends, I might introduce, he's a 동생, and he might understand, oh, this guy's a younger than. Okay, and there's another word called 막내.
막내.
The youngest. There is a group. There is a youngest and oldest, right? The youngest, you call it 막내. Like in BTS, the youngest is JK. He is like 막내. 막내 usually do the troublesome work or miscellaneous work in the group. In other case, also the elders take care of the 막내s too. If you're gathered around with people, when the delivery comes, 막내 usually always go to get the food. So in Korea, age makes a hierarchy society. There is kind of like an invisible rank from the age. So it is from the tradition that you have to respect the elders. But this kind of hierarchy society from the age, there are kind of many negative effects that people couldn't be open to each other more clearly because of the age gap. When I meet somebody else who is like maybe 20 years older or 30 years older, when I'm trying to have a conversation, it is more difficult because I have to be respectful, I have to speak, not to be rude, and all those kind of things is like a wall. I have a lot of friends all over the world. When I met them, age didn't matter at all. But in Korea, it kind of matters. So this is kind of negative side of the culture, I guess. Especially when it applies to the students, their hierarchy is more strict, even in some sports teams. But as time passes, it is kind of wearing off. It is weakening, and people are getting more open-minded. If you're a foreigner, actually it doesn't apply to you. They will understand. And there is a calling name for the strangers you can call, not the close people. For the older male, you call them Ajussi. And for the older woman, you call them Ajumma. So it is like in between the young people and the grandpa, grandma. So maybe it might be over 40 and under 60 or 70. Many people want to be young, so if you call grandpa or granddad, old people, Ajussi or Ajumma, they will like it. But if you call young people Ajumma or Ajussi, they will not like it. They will hate it. Maybe they might. There was even a movie called Ajussi. That's not the image of Ajussi. When we say Ajussi, this is the image.
사과 달려서 사과 준 건데.
When we call Ajumma, this is the image.
명 데리고 말 안 듣는 놈 하나를 혼내줬나 봐. 아 그랬더니 거기 뭐.
So you get what I'm saying. Try not to call age of 30 or 40 Ajumma or Ajussi because they will not like it. Everybody wants to be young. Try calling grandpa or old man or old ladies Ajumma or Ajussi. Then everybody will be pleased. When you go to the restaurant, waiter or waitress or the owner or whoever who could take an order, 90% people just say 저기요.
저기요.
예.
It's more like excuse me. It is not a formal way of calling, but people just say 저기요. It means please look at me.
Look at you now, look at me.
Okay, that's it for today. So today was more like a Korean language lessons. But if you know this word, you might find it quite useful when you watch Korean dramas or when you come to Korea. If you want more interesting topics, you know what to do. Thanks for watching.